So the Arty Party project was a response to the Creative Recovery Arts Pilot Project, where we wanted to give the community some voice on what arts activities they would like to see happen in their community. So the artists came up with a proposal. We then took those artists to 3 different venues and they set up their stall. So it was like a little mini expo market in a party forum. The community feedback was they were over the barbecue, the sausage sizzle. They'd had enough of those. So we thought, well, what other celebrations imbue a sense of excitement, a sense of celebration? And so the party was picked. It was also just around the election time. So it was kind of playing on the, the party, not the Labor Party or the Liberal Party, but this was the Arty Party. So we were going to bring artists to communities and they were going to pitch their idea, and then the votes were cast by the communities. So the voting process was done visually with a lot of colour and fun. So when people arrived at the Arty Party, they were presented with their vote. So every person who came through the gate of the party or the door was given a vote. And what they did with their vote was they went around and looked at each of the stalls, participated in an art activity, got a feel for what they wanted, and then on each of the artists' table there was a basket, and if they liked that workshop they could simply put their vote in the basket. So it was visually very evident where the votes were being cast. All of these places are community spaces, facilities that they can access as community members, and they're gathering spaces. So we'd like to encourage people who perhaps feel isolated or disaffected or still struggling with the ongoing effects of recovering from floods, to not only have a great experience and something creative, but therefore it's an access for them to those community services for them.
So Red Cross in the Arty Party project, I think that we're the link. So we've been in those communities from the start, that we've already broken through, I guess, some of those barriers. There's not suspicion, when we're involved, people are willing to engage. So there was that, and that relationship building. Also with the other agencies that are involved, that have clients in the area. So it was a bit of a link, a networking role, but also in that space, we do a lot of recovery preparedness. We have a lot of recovery preparedness information. We're there to take referrals and to link them into other services that are also working in that space. And just to be a listening ear. You don't know when people might unravel in that space, so it's just to be careful, I guess.
It was very evident from community feedback as well that they would like to have access to places where there are already established networks. So we're using spaces like community houses, like the Gales Community House and Woodner Community House, because what happens at those places is there's a whole program of events. So while we might hold a workshop, a circus workshop, the family that comes to drop their children off for the circus workshop may look at the program and see there's a women's group, there's a church service, there's a meeting of the neighbourhood watch in that space. So there's more that they can access just by coming to that place for the arts activity. It's also building connections for artists and profile within those communities. We've had lots of feedback where groups or individual members from the community have said, oh, we didn't know that there was even that artist in the community. These are the winning workshops. Can that artist come along too and just talk to the mums? So the relationships are being built, and that's one of the major parts of this project. Is creative recovery is about building relationships at the base through arts practice, and if the relationships are built, then they're ongoing, and then, you know, when it's time of crisis, then that relationship is already there. It's not something you have to build later like we are now.
So from my knowledge, this is the first time Red Cross has worked with the creative ID and collaborated with other creative industries to do recovery work, which is fantastic.